Is it just me, or was Tom Cruise born 35 and then just has looked 35 his whole life? Oblivion, starring the ever-youthful Tom Cruise as one of the last people on a war-torn Earth as aliens have come and destroyed everything we know and love. Everybody's escaping, but he's still there, picking up the pieces, doing some last-minute work before he heads off to join the others. I don't want to go into too much detail because this is one of those movies where the plot developments kind of take you by surprise on the way. Now, I hesitate to call them twists, and I don't want to do spoilers, but twist kind of builds them up to be a little more than they are. I really just think they're kind of storyline developments that are revealed to the audience in a way that is important to the story itself. I feel like these help us understand the characters in the story the way these things are revealed when they are revealed. And that's important, so I don't want to give them away, but I will say be ready. There are some story developments that happen here that I think may catch you a little off guard. Some of them will, and actually some of them won't. Some of them are kind of foreshadowed quite a bit in the movie, and I appreciate that as well. It allows you to kind of pick up on those clues and kind of know what's coming up. Let's get into the quality of this movie. I'll just say right off the bat, this is a good film. I really enjoyed myself here. One, I walked out of being glad that I saw it, had a great time during the movie. If you're looking for a sci-fi action kind of film, I really feel like this scratches that itch. You'll come out satisfied in that way. And there's a lot to really like about the performances here and some of the other things, and I want to go more into detail on those. But before I do, just a couple things that keep this from being a great film. Number one, the villain. The villain in this movie is set up so abstractly, and there's really no contact or motive or any of that explored with the character of the villain in this movie, so that when it comes down to that final confrontation towards the end of the film, there's just not a lot invested in it, and so it kind of falls flat. And that was disappointing to me, that the ending of this movie falls a little bit flat. The other part is this movie is a little bit full of itself, and what I mean by that is not that it's arrogant. What I mean is it just kind of gets a bit too ponderous every once in a while. It takes a little bit too much time. This movie could have been shorter. I think it gets lost in its own beauty and kind of the own characterizations, and so it just kind of slows down at points. But the truth is, there's enough action here that comes every once in a while that it pulls you right back in. Plus the story is really interesting, and this world is really compelling and engaging. In fact, that was my favorite part about Oblivion, was getting into this sci-fi world. And if you've heard there's a lot of references to other sci-fi movies and a lot of homages and things it pulls from, yeah, I think it does. It's one of those things I don't know you can avoid with sci-fi. There's been so many great sci-fi films, but I don't think it does it to a point where it becomes distracting. For me, I just thought it was its beautiful own world and very well realized. I felt like all the technology in this world was real technology that could exist in that place, and it felt really thought out. His vehicle, the way it works, all that stuff felt real to me in this future world, and I really did enjoy that and thought that was a really good part of what's going on here. I also have to mention Tom Cruise. The guy is just good at what he does, and he knows what that is, and he keeps doing it. He plays this role so perfectly. It is every Tom Cruise role that you've ever seen, with just a little bit of a different spin and a little bit of a different situation, but he's so good at it, I can't fault him for it. I see him on screen and he's just so engaging and compelling. I'm a Tom Cruise fan and have really, really enjoyed his work recently and through the years, and this is no different. He's performing really well here. Plus Morgan Freeman in his role is really good here as well, and the others around them I think do really good turns with an interesting kind of bit of character development that they're given. So I really appreciated the performances in this as well. Oblivion is one of those movies that you can kind of go to, sit down, look at it on the big screen. I did see an IMAX, and I have to tell you, so great to see things on that big screen. This movie I think really benefits from that expanse. It's one of those movies that is really beautiful to look at in that way. So if you want to go sit down, take in the sights, and see some incredible sci-fi action, Oblivion would be a good one to spend a Friday night on.